Hey guys, Dave here at Fresh Baked. As many of you know, I was present at the grand opening of Cars Land in 2012 and also for Buena Vista Street. And I was there and I released that footage under the old banner of the Disneyland Report. And then when we moved over to Fresh Baked, I didn't re-upload the Cars Land opening day footage because, well, I wasn't very proud of it. Going back and as I look back on it over the years, as time gone by, I'm like, gosh, that was pretty awful. But due to popular demand, folks have wanted to see our coverage of that, and I thought I would do that. But this time I'm going to do it with the voiceover commentary. One of the main reasons for that is that you can't hear anything that I'm saying in this video, so that's one of the reasons, the poor quality. So what I'm going to do is I've cut together some footage from that day, and I'm going to try to reflect back on my thoughts on what was happening and how it felt and how it looked to me that day, and hopefully give you guys an idea of what it was like to be there at Cars Land on opening day for Cars Land and for Buena Vista Street. So I had the brilliant idea of dropping my camera on my dashboard to try to capture what kind of pandemonium you might expect on the streets of Harbor Boulevard as you approach Disneyland. And as we turn the corner here onto Harbor Boulevard, you'll find that there is no pandemonium whatsoever. This was the first thing that surprised me a little bit when I got here. Was I've seen this street, and I'm sure many of you locals have, the street completely packed on just a regular Friday, Friday evening at 5 or 6 o'clock or something like that. And that's about what time it was now at this time of day. I got there after work. I think I left work maybe an hour early or something like that. But it was about 5 or 6 o'clock when I got there. And yeah, I'm approaching the entrance to the Toy Story parking lot. And so this is where you first get the wobble cam. I did not know what I was doing. You see this? This is what I'm talking about. Like, I'm just not very proud of this, but I did not know how to hold a camera back then. There's many reasons or many things that I couldn't do, but just this is my approach to the front gate. And again, I was super stoked. I couldn't believe how not crowded it was at the gate. I thought it was going to be long lines because there was a lot of anticipation for this. And then we popped through the turnstile there, and this is my very first look. It had been about 2 years since I'd seen this area of DCA. All of this was brand new to me because when I had got into Fresh Baked, the park was already under its renovation, so I had not seen this part of DCA really in a very, very long time. And okay, well, check this out. Look at there I am. Look at how I'm holding that camera. Now, if you guys have seen me filming at a regular park visit, I hold the camera now after trial and error. I hold the camera now like right in front of my eyes and right in front of my face. I mean, the lens has become my eyes. Back then I held it down below towards lower towards my chin. You can see much further away from my body, and I did that. I've changed that since then in order to help pick up what I'm saying without having to shout and be really loud about it, and also to steady the camera, because you'll find that when I'm walking around, the camera it was just too low. My eyes, I wanted the camera to keep looking up, so I put the camera up at my eyes, and I held it much closer to my face, and that's one of the reasons why the camera work is so bad and you can't hear anything that I'm saying. I would show you I would show you what it's like, or have you hear what it's like that you can't hear me, but then you couldn't hear me, so you wouldn't tell. So my primary thought as I'm walking through the entrance here was I didn't know where to start. I'm kind of wandering around aimlessly because I didn't know if I should just go straight to Cars Land. Well, I knew I wasn't going to do that, but there was just so much to see. I couldn't take it all in. And I kept stopping. I'd look around and I'd say, do I want to go over to here to Oswald's, or do I want to go in the shop? Or, oh, look at that. Oh my gosh, there's a front entrance. We're right there. Town Square is very well removed from the front of the Disneyland entrance. At DCA, it's you walk through the gate and you're right on top of what they would equate to be their Town Square. So yeah, I'm just kind of wandering around aimlessly, and I have no idea where to start, no idea what to do right here. So now I've just started the video, and I'm focusing on these sliding glass doors. That fascinated me for some reason because they don't have those at Disneyland. There are none. All the doors are, I take that back. I think there's one at the Village House, but really basically all the doors are just open always. But here they were trying to save on electricity, so they redesigned them so they have sliding glass doors. But they pretty much stayed open for a while anyway. And so again, I'm walking. See, look at how the camera's pointing down. That's because I had it too low. So I'm gonna jump in here to the shops and see what it looks like. And I remember being very, very impressed with this particular shop, and specifically Julius Katz and Sons, with the merchandise they had here. A lot of collectible stuff. especially that rear wall back there, which I think we're going to be going back there in a minute. But they had a lot of fairly unique merchandise, stuff that I've only seen since then at World of Disney when we were recently there. Today that wall is just they do it for Christmas decoration sometimes, but really that's just like you can't. I can't find that statue anywhere anymore. I don't know where to look for that anymore. But today they just have regular their normal merchandise, nothing very unique or specific to DCA or anything like that. I just thought this selection of stuff here was really neat. It was too crowded though, and I couldn't look around at much of the stuff. We saw that Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs things at World of Disney recently. Okay, Fiddler, Fifer, and Practical Cafe, named after the Three Little Pigs. This is a great restaurant, and I was immediately impressed with the interiors of this. But you can see, I don't know if you've been to this place recently, but the lines are nothing like this. This is just the beginning of what we're gonna see in terms of lines. There's usually maybe 3 or 4 people in line today, but there was 30 easily in that line. Very crowded in there. I guess I'm wandering. I'm you know what it is? I'm afraid to go into Cars Land right now, because I'm afraid to be let down after all this wait. Hey, look, there's Officer Blue. Oh man, when I saw him for the first time, I thought that is the coolest thing in the world. I still think that. I think Officer Blue and all the other citizens are pretty awesome, but I kind of wish they'd do something like that on Main Street. Here's Goofy doing some posing, his awesome outfit there. Again, I feel like, there are things to do here on Buena Vista Street, but part of it was just me being afraid to go to Cars Land because I didn't want to be let down. But, we're getting closer and closer, and finally I say, you know what? We got to do it. And that's what I'm starting to head that way. Now, looking here, the Carthay Fountain, this area they had opened up about a week or two before opening day, so you were able to see this part of it. You were able to see this in the Carthay Theater and parts of Buena Vista Street. I can't remember, but this was the first area that they opened up, and the blue walls were taken down. Right. So you see, as we pan across here to the right, there just a week before this, there were blue walls everywhere, and then you had to, you couldn't see anything. All right, Dave, gird up your loins here. Let's go. There's Cars Land. Oh my gosh, can you feel that? I've always thought it's gonna sound strange, but how they say like it's darker in life than the camera makes it look. The camera makes it look like it's lighter, or the camera adds 10 pounds. Those kind of things. Well, the camera makes it look less crowded than it really is. When I'm at the park and we're walking around and I say, oh my gosh, it's so crowded. When I look back in the video, I'm like, it doesn't look that crowded at all. Well, it feels like you have more space, or it looks like you have more space when you see it through the camera. I'm focused on this population sign for some reason. But it actually was more crowded than it looks. You could barely walk in here. You could barely walk. Look at that line for tomaters. That's out the door. Whew. We haven't seen it like that since. Right, see, I'm getting decked nearly by every one of those people going by me right now. Tomaters, towing and salvage. That line, I want to say, was maybe 50 minutes. I think I'm going to walk up to it here. Hold on a second. Dave, go up there and take a look at that sign. Come on. This is how you do it. This is how okay, there you go. All right, what's it say? Yeah, 50 minutes. All right, that was a long 50 minutes, I should say, because you could just look at that queue. There's actually a switchback to the left there you can't see also. And I remember actually you could hear in the audio when you listen to this, there's people going, where does this queue end? They couldn't find the end. This random dude just standing there looking completely intimidated by the whole process. What's he doing there? I don't know. They gave him a uniform and they said, go stand there, guy. All right, that's Sergeant Surplus on the right. We're going to head that way in a second. The reason why we're going to do that is because this is the first head explode moment that you have. What are these people standing here, and why are there people waving those flags? What's going on? Oh my gosh, green tape on the ground. What is that for? Well, that's a queue. That's a gift shop, and that's a queue. They're not letting you in. You can't go in. It's too crowded in the gift shop. There's a queue to enter the gift shop, and I can't believe it. So I have to look inside and say, wait, this is a gift shop, right? Yeah, that's a gift shop. This is definitely just stuff to buy. There was a line. There's a line for everything. There was a line for everything there. That was, gosh, that was incredible. I couldn't believe that. And it's like that everywhere. Well, I guess we're going to see that here in a minute. All right, moving down Route 66. I was really impressed. This is where I first started to feel like you're in the movie. And as you walk through the cozy cones here, again, camera, look at it. I'm pointing down. The camera's looking down instead of up. But anyway, that's a technical thing. But this is where I was really, really impressed with the theming and with the vibe that you're getting as you walk through the cozy cones. Very orange. It was an overcast day, as you could tell, but still, you got that strong orange vibe. Everything around there was orange, and the lights were orange and everything. But this is where I first started to, really think, oh my gosh, I'm in Radiator Springs. I'm also making, I think I'm making pun jokes here, if I'm not mistaken. I'm talking about the concoctions and I don't know, all the other cone stuff, the chili con carne and whatnot. From the very first, I was like, nah, I'm not down with that. Not a big fan of puns. All right, stepping out. Oh, God, look at how. Imagine seeing that for the first time, Flo's V8 Cafe. Imagine seeing that for the first time. As a matter of fact, I remember now, I have a memory of watching them build Flo's, because that was one of the last things they built, because you could see it from, like if you're on Mickey's Fun Wheel or stuff like that, you could see the growth of that building, and you didn't know what it was right away. Here's another situation. Okay, there's a queue inside there, but no. There's also a queue outside. That green tape right there goes all the way out and to the back and out onto Route 66. And they had guys. You guys ever been to In-N-Out Burger? They have them in Southern California, I know. But these guys they're taking orders In-N-Out Burger style, where they bring out a menu and you can pick and they write it down for you, then they take it in so that they'll have it ready. By the time you got your food, though, it would be cold if they made it right away. So I'm not sure how soon they're bringing those. Anyway, but I thought that was fascinating that again, we had this, they wouldn't let you in. There's two queues, two queues to eat. There's an inner queue and an outer queue. And this is a restaurant, yo. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Backside of Radiator Springs. This is the backside of Flo's. All those people that you see, all those people are not standing around. Those people are in a queue. Oh my God, I still to this day, I cannot believe how, everywhere you look, if you think it's a queue, you're right, it is queue. Pretty much. I was completely blown away by how many people were here. I was also blown away by the scenery. I stopped right there and I'm like, look at that, look how beautiful that is. It's an overcast day, which is not exactly the best for, photographic purposes, but still, doesn't that look great? Doesn't that look real? And that's all I could think about. I just wanted to stand there and take this in. And that was the main thing I was focusing on here, was that. See that green tape right there? That's Q, dude. That's Q. Today, if you walk down there, there's maybe 10 people on that whole area. See that? The ride, when I got there, the ride was broke down. Those people were chilling in their car for like 10 or 15 minutes. How about that? So get that, right? So it's a what had to be 2.5 hours wait, I think, and it was broke down. So you had to wait for them to start the ride up again. Who knows? Just look at that. Golly, bodies everywhere. Oh man, I cannot believe that. Amazing sight. And again, here I am. I'm like, queue, more queue. How do these people do this? How do you guys stand in these queues for 2.5 hours? How? I would go out of my mind. I'm very efficient. I'm a highly efficient person. I don't like to waste anything, money, supplies, or time, anything. I don't like to waste anything. And this is why it took us so long to go see Frozen, by the way. The meet and greet. This would have just frustrated me beyond comprehension. All these people having to wait 2.5 hours for Radiator Springs Racers. So I wanted to go check out Luigi's, and I look at this. Here's another example. 5 people today. If you were to show video of this, there would be like 5 or 10 people walking through there. I couldn't even get a good look at Luigi's Flying Tires, but you'll notice maybe, I don't know if I could see it, but you can see the beach balls in there. Missed those beach balls. That was a lot of fun. All I wanted to do here was to see if I could get to Bugs Land. That's all I was trying to do, because I had heard that there was a back entrance from Cars Land to Bugs Land, which there is, and I don't think I get all the way down there. David, hold the camera steady. Oh my God, just hold it steady. Okay, quick tip. Hold the camera with your body, not with your hands, guys. Okay, so back into Cars Land, Radiator Springs proper. Okay, I want to go check out what it's like at the front. And now you see this? There's on a queue. Do you see the green tape down there? That's another queue. Do you know what that's for? That queue, there's like queues everywhere. That queue is for the single rider. My rule was that if you got all the way to the front, my rule today is if you get all the way to the front of the entrance and you can see anybody in the single rider queue, you don't get in it. And that's all the way down into the queue proper. Look at that. Oh, man, I can't even guess how long that single rider queue was. Look at that. Okay, so this is Route 66. We're in front of Flo's right now, and I'm understanding that they're getting ready to turn on the lights for the Route 66 lighting ceremony that they do every night at dusk. It's like 15 minutes before sundown. And so all these people are standing around waiting. And there's a lady waving me, hi guys, how are you? And okay, so right now there's a buzz going through the crowd that John Lasseter is here. See all those cameras are facing the wrong way, right? Those cameras should be pointing towards Radiator Springs, but they're pointing back down Route 66 towards DCA proper. And that's because everybody thinks that John Lasseter's in the crowd. And then all of a sudden the music kicks in and you can see all the eyes turn. Look at, what's that? Yeah, so the music kicked in. The music, the lighting ceremony music, and you can see the neon start popping on down there. Here it comes. Yeah, there's Ramones, and Flo's will be here in a second. And this was a very, very moving sort of moment, especially if this is your first time. It's pretty cool on a regular basis, but the very first time you see this, especially if you don't know it's coming, it's quite amazing. Watch this girl. Wait, do I show this or not? I remember that girl. She had to catch her breath a little bit. She was very moved by the whole... There she goes. Yeah, see? She was very moved by the whole thing. And then there you go. The cameras are pointing the other way again. I don't know if this is a John Lasseter thing or... Anyway, I'm pretty sure he was in the crowd, but I'm not sure where. There's a dude up there on the roof, too. Do you guys see that? What's he doing up there? All right, back in the Radiator Springs. I think I'm just showing this to... to show the lights, I guess, how it looks, because the sun is starting to set. God, Cars Land is so beautiful at night, you guys. It might even be better at dusk because there's a certain glow to it. So I don't know. It's just beautiful, just beautiful. And then this is me at the Blue Sky Cellar taking a long shot, and this is still, I've been here for a couple hours at least. And it has not let up in the least bit. Just look at all those people. Have I said that enough? Man, that's a lot of people. It's just they're moving as one almost, like a swarm, And that's it. That's me saying this is the very first time I tried to do a sign off too. I remember I didn't know what to say when I was doing my sign off, but yeah, this is the exit to DCA, and I'm just looking back, and I was. Me and the boy were coming back the next morning, and because I didn't ride anything that day. It was just too crowded. So I made a promise to the boy that we'd come in the morning and ride everything first thing. And that's what we did. But yeah, so there you go, guys. That's our opening day visit to DCA and Cars Land and our thoughts on that day. It was pretty great. What do you guys think?